Orbit Industries. Become a space pioneer by building and managing a space station of your very own on the orbit of a distant planet. Focus on designs and management or fulfill objectives to progress, explore, build, and prosper. Well, that's what it says on the Steam store page for Orbit Industries, which is coming out on the 21st of April, 2022. Right here is a playtest for it, which you yourself can download via Steam. If you just go to the Orbit Industries page as you're watching this video, before the game releases, they're doing a playtest, which is essentially like a demo for a game which looks quite promising for building your very own space station based on military defense, or economic building, or research, or possibly even just commerce of, tourists and such, and also mining and other things. Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome aboard. Good to see you all once again. I hope you're all well, and I am excited to take a look at yet another space station builder. Now, building space stations is something that we've done a few times on the channel. Many of them are much different. Sometimes we're building the interiors of the stations, such as games like, for example, Space Haven, which allowed you to build spaceships, and also space stations, and other games such as literally Space Station Tycoon, or even more recently Ixion, which allowed you to build a station that could also travel, and there's plenty of other examples on the channel. But this appearance, for me, already looking at it, looks a lot like Astroneer, at least how the spaceship is designed, but it plays nothing like that. But I feel like this is one of those games where if you like games like No Man's Sky, Star Citizen, or as I mentioned before, Astroneer, then you're going to love this game. Building and designing and managing the power, and of course, as you see on the screen now, this is a great splash screen for the game too, because it shows exactly what will take place over time, building additional components for your station, for areas to store power, or to gather it, or to store food and cruise quarters, and to accomplish your objectives, whether it's for the defense of your planet, or perhaps better lives for everyone through research. Well, thanks again for subscribing, smashing like. We're going to take a look here at one of two missions for this. If you would like to see more, make sure you do that, so that way I know that you'd want to see a full playthrough when it releases on the 21st of April. And we'll go ahead and do that, as there are many other missions that will come for the full release, and then I'm sure there'll be more included with that. I'm assuming that'll go into a early access state to allow for much more to do. So no time for caution is the tutorial that we're going to get started here today, and then there's another mission called Protective Shield, which is a little bit more about military and kind of security for this planet. So no time for caution will get us started, and we'll see how the game is played, and then we'll jump into Protective Shield and dabble in one of the more serious missions towards later scenarios. All right, welcome aboard. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Welcome to Orbit Industries. This briefing will guide you through the main mechanics of the game. The bar at the bottom will provide context-sensitive information about input actions. Your first task will be to extend the station and produce resources. Those resources are needed to generate income from projects. To do so, you'll need to manage three views. This view, called the Exterior Station View, or the ESV, here you can build modules to extend the station. Most modules contain systems that need to be connected. These connections are managed inside the Abstract System Layout, or the ASL. You can switch to that view by following the control instructions below. Wow, look at that gorgeous planet. That is certainly not Earth, but it looks to be an Earth-like planet with deserts and jungles and rivers and lakes and streams, and of course a massive ocean. Gorgeous. And let's see if there's any sort of moon around there. Maybe other planets around us, other moons in this system. Absolutely gorgeous. That is really beautiful. Okay, let's go to ASL. So they want us to use the keyboard for this, so we'll press 1. All systems get placed on a grid and wired through their ports. This is great. All the parts are actually connected together, so this is like an alternative view in order to connect everything together with wiring, so how it'll be connected via power, which is interesting because, you know, sort of like Christmas lights, if they're seriesed or not. If they have a redundancy, then there's a way for them to, for example, if they're connected through one building or another or section, then they'll lose power and it'll take the whole station down, or bypass, possibly. Interesting. Fully connected systems produce resources that may be required for contract work, so-called projects. Open the Station Management Interface, SMI, to have a look at available projects. Yeah, that'll give us more information then on that. The view shows all projects which are currently available. Completing projects will produce income and unlock new technologies, and some will progress you through the mission's story. Icons inside the project entry show which kind of resources are needed to accept the project, and if a system is missing that produces the resource, it'll be grayed out. In this case, a briefing center needs to be built before you can accept the project equipment maintenance. Now, go to the exterior station view again and select the blue connection point on the station. Well, I certainly do want to explore that, so let's go to the ESV. There are two types of connection points that will link different modules, blue and yellow ones. Select a blue connector since the briefing center can only be built there. You first have to click on the module, then on the blue connector. Alright, let's build our military module right here. Or briefing center. I'm thinking military briefing, but... Alright, so we have to click blue here and then the connector there. Navigate to the BCE and confirm. If some other module of the station blocks it, it will turn red. You then need to place it somewhere else or rotate it. Okay, so here's all sorts of different connectors that we can build in order to get the... I guess this is the BCE here. Oh yeah, it is a defense system. So we can actually make that in order to build it further away from the station, which probably would look a lot more cool that way. So since we're allowed to do that, let's make a really long one and see if we can build it. Yeah, there we go. That looks to be about right. We'll take a look at the other ones. They seem to be multi-section connectors, which allows for intersections and whatnot. That's kind of cool. All right, let's go with this one and confirm. So that'll be constructed and or completed here. And now let's go ahead and build our briefing section over here. So there's workforce, research, defense, and commerce. Let's go with the BCE briefing center. All right, hit confirm. Building modules as well as the upkeep of their systems cost money. Being in debt can mean game over. A warning will appear before it happens. The briefing center needs to be connected to work because it produces a resource. Switch to the abstract system layout to manage its connectors. This view shows how all systems are connected. Some of them, I guess, are open for redundancy. Open the list for deployable systems to place the briefing center system. Okay. There it is. Select the briefing center system. So what do we have here? We have the habitat capsule, the battery, environmental control, airlock, and laboratory are all connected. In this case, we're going to be installing the BCE. Alright, so now we can rotate with the middle mouse button. So we're going to be connecting things together here. So let's do this to keep things a little more organized. All systems need to be wired to work. The other necessary systems are already there. You can create new wires by selecting them. The input and output of a system is shown in the overview. They can also be seen directly on the system chip. The briefing center has 3 colored ports. Connect all briefing center ports to the suitable existing wires. Okay. So our task here to connect these 3 colors, which must be different systems, which I assume we'll learn about shortly. And they might actually cross each other. So it looks like they'll be able to do that. Yes. So they can go over and under each other that way. And we can make little waypoints too to bend the wires as we want. So if we want cable management to be a thing, we can make a much more organized system than what I did here if we want to. The briefing center is fully connected. Projects that depend on it can now be accepted. There is another resource that all systems need, which is not distributed through wires: workforce. In this mission, you started with some workforce already. This resource is needed to keep the efficiency of other systems at their maximum. So in the end, they'll produce faster. Building and connecting workforce systems will increase the maximum workforce that is available on the station. It will slowly increase until it reaches the limit. You can see the available workforce on the left and the required on the right of the parameter panel. Go to the station management interface to accept the first project. All right, let's go. The project equipment maintenance is now ready to be processed. Hover over the project entry with your mouse and click on the start button that appears. Processing a project takes some time. You can see the progress when you select the tabs filter on the left. As soon as it is 100, confirm and collect the reward. Oh, nice. So we have contracts that we can do. One now complete. Equipment maintenance complete. So I guess by closing that, we will accept the reward.
Commander, a ship on its patrol on the Galgar system borders found a wrecked ship. The model and origin species could not be determined. They have asked us if we can investigate the shipwreck.
Okay. More projects will be available from now on. Follow the mission projects to achieve the overall objective. Great success. All right, Borat, thank you. Okay, let's go to another view here. So this is our abstract system layout. This is our external view, which is the most interesting. And this is our projects for basically business management of the station itself. Wow, the briefing center looks really good. Now, one thing I'll say off the start is I don't think there's a way to pan away from the station. There seems to be points that you can click to for points of interest, but I wish I could free camera around it as if we were like hovering over it like a drone. That seems to be the airlock there. Oh, that's a habitat. Interesting. Let's take a look at the detail on some of these structures. We see the corporate logo, a lot of detailing with stickers and safety notification and whatnot, and maybe we can see rivets and other things like that. Looks like you can actually see, yeah, rivets. Wow, that's great detail. Lots of little rivets and stuff on the station. Not that it matters too much, but it is really nice to be able to see smaller solar panels or markings or languages here, and cargo being stored. Looks like they may speak a language that's not English, or... Oh yeah, it's actually like an alien language. It almost, for a moment, looked Japanese, but this does seem to confirm that it's kind of a fictional, made-up, human-like species that does definitely have a language and such as well. Well, let's go back to the contract view then and see what else we can do. So there's new contracts for us to do. One mission, which sounded interesting, the wrecked ship. So let's go ahead and start.
The rescue team has been dispatched. We expect them to return in a few ticks with results.
While guarding the borders along the Galgar system, a wrecked ship of an unknown species was discovered. An assignment to oversee and coordinate a rescue/investigation mission was published. Alright, so our crew is going out to do that. Interesting how they're going to do that. I don't think we actually have any sort of... I didn't see we had any ships docked, but I did see some people going out on EVA missions, or I believe that's external vehicular activity. I swear I saw somebody out there doing some stuff. Well, that's great. Looks like sensors and things extend. This does appear to be perhaps a system to cool. I believe the International Space Station utilizes these as well as kind of radiators to regulate the temperature of equipment and or the station itself, which I guess is why it's under environment control. Additionally, solar panels may have that as well since they get hot, but it all depends on what technology they deploy here and how futuristic we are here. I like the era that this is in. So far it feels like it's a believable future, perhaps about 50 years from now with our technology, but limited to, of course, to space and how much we can bring into space. Pretty cool though, looks great. All right, let's take a look at that mission briefing. It's about 40% done. Let's take some other missions while we wait. I don't think we have any sort of research station at the moment, but it might be a good idea to do that. We do have a radio dish. Let's see, EM radio telescope with a frequency range between 140 megahertz and 945 gigahertz. The suspension is equipped with the low radiation, low friction motors to track radio sources continuously in relation to station movement. Well, that's like a vague description, but I'm not exactly sure why we're exactly doing that. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and add some more things onto the station. It is a station builder after all, and I do find those connector pieces to be really cool. And in a way, this reminds me of recently, as I did about a year ago, building the International Space Station out of Lego. And that's quite interesting because after constructing that, it made me want to kind of continuously build more stations and such. And one continuous structure is very interesting as versus maybe a base that's spread out on the surface of a planet. But we'll have to see if we can actually get deliveries from the ground and such too. Let's go ahead and put down a laboratory. That is probably already here on the other side, and it does look like we have a satellite. So it does look that things that are orange, like our briefing center here are military, so it looks like we have a research center and a military center, so maybe we'll build a commerce center, although we don't want to go out of money. But if we go bankrupt, that's okay. The purpose here is to take a look at everything that we could do, what it looks like, what it feels like. There's another habitat that we could build, so now we have all those things. The construction's pretty immediate. I would like to see a little bit more in terms of the crew maybe constructing those things, but that's quite all right. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here then at the radios. Now, can we upgrade individual buildings? There might be a way to actually do that. We'll have to find that out as we go on. We can press tab then to see information on it. So we have a new project available, ready for completion, a project from the shipwreck. And it does look like it has radio equipment here, radar dish and perhaps radar antennas and such. And what looks to be maybe
Commander,
the ability...
the rescue team has returned from shipwreck and the results are available for review in the station management interface.
This perhaps could be a probe that it could launch as well. So a lot of cool, interesting things here. Okay, let's go ahead and complete this mission then. All right, let's see what it may say.
Commander, the rescue team recovered an encrypted data core from the unknown ship. Besides that, there was nothing more that could be rescued. I think we should task our scientists to decrypt the data core as soon as possible.
All right, well, let's scratch the radar dish then and immediately have our scientists decrypt that data.
Our best data engineers started to decipher the encrypted core. At a first glance, the used encryption does not reflect any known algorithms to us. This might take a while.
The station's laboratory was instructed to analyze the data core. All right, very cool. I do like the grainy background as well. If you've ever seen footage from the International Space Station or just from space in general, sometimes it will look like this, all garbled and whatnot from the reception back on Earth of the limitation of the equipment and stuff, but it seems equal to that of what you would see in space. That's cool. A lot of nice little details that don't necessarily mean anything for the graphics or whatnot, but are like a nice little sprinkling of detail or animations that add a little extra. Okay, we have now completed the construction of this, the administration building. Let's try to do a goal for that, something that we can do contract-wise. So it does show us what we need, briefing centers and such that need to be equipped for that. Let's do an analysis of tactical data, which seems to take something from the military. A new set of complex tactical data is ready to be analyzed for completeness. So vague. It's like as if somebody... this almost seems like when you're writing a resume and you're trying to say that you once baked pizza, instead of just saying, worked at Domino's, made pizza, it's like, strove to... I don't even know if that's a word, but, just basically saying... ensuring proper placement of pepperoni at optimal distance for cheese melting, saturation, or something like that. It's like, bro, you... Okay. Anyway, we all have to do it. Decision on a new security chip is a new project available as well. The Warbot firmware deployment. Okay, so it looks like we can continue to expand and build more sections onto the station. So I'm assuming if we build more workplaces like this, we'll be able to have more people on the station, and so we can go ahead and expand this way if we want to and build more exterior. Oh, I thought I saw EVA there, but it's the radar dish. But anyway, so it looks like we might be able to build multiple research stations, multiple briefing stations, multiple commerce stations, and then do multiple jobs at a time, making us more and more money over time. And then in this case we've got I guess we'll call these credits, 3,000 credits, to which some things to construct merely only cost a couple hundred or a couple thousand or whatnot, depending on what it is. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our active missions. 71% on the encrypted data, so let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. I'm curious to see what the story has in store for us. And I'm assuming that each one of these missions is probably a series of missions that tells a story or a series of objectives over different types of perhaps planets or moons, or with different main goals for the station. I would love to see, and it remains to be seen.
Our data engineers successfully deciphered the recovered data core. Results are ready to review in the station management interface.
The ability to process ore and have tourism and such like that, that is something that I want to see. These things are possible, and I want to see if this is going more for a corporate level of management for profit that way, rather than just scouting and looking for ways to use those things, if that makes sense. Let's take a look at that tactical data then. The encrypted
The administration
data.
team is eagerly starting to filter and categorize the vast amount of new data.
Interesting. All right, let's take a look at the other data. All complete as well. All right, good. Now it looks like we've got ourselves a beautiful amount of cash. I'm happy to have that. Very nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next mission. Unlocked information. Breaking the encryption was a hard task for all involved, but seemed to be just the tip of an iceberg of secrets. Against expectations, the data core did not only hold ship logs mapping coordinates of crew diaries. While some data couldn't be restored, a big part of it looked like a compendium of cultural, historical, and technological information. An extensive data comparison should be carried out in order to determine similarities with known data. Okay, so this is invalid right now, it looks like, and so we'll need to probably construct more things to get this done. So we're lacking something or an upgrade in order to do that. So might be a good time for more construction or whatnot. Love the look of the station. I do like the fact that we can freely, build and do things like that. Very, very nice. We could build another workforce. Let's do that here. And I would like to see how people actually get to the station. We do have an airlock, so it would be nice to have a docking bay and do those types of things. But again, a play test and an early mission is hard to judge, as of course this is the very beginning of things. Alright, the ALO costs 24,000 credits to build. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It looks like some sort of advanced something or other, so we'll need cash to get that. So that must be our end goal, or our next big goal, so we'll have to work our way there. Demand right now is 72 out of 100 employees, so yeah, we'll definitely need much more projects to be completed and much more staff on board to do it. Let's take a look at another contract. Open positions. We can now get more people assigned to that. Dangerous environments. Is there a way to sort or filter? Let's see. 2,000 for the security chip. That's invalid, though. Some of these are ready, so let's take the top one. When a reactor was flooded with P radiation, important equipment was left behind. Now has to be recovered. Wow, I love the art style of the mission briefings and such. Mini space games, like for example, Distant Worlds 2 or Galactic Empires or Galactic Civilizations, do a lot of this great, well, they paint a picture, literally, and tell you the briefing about it. I love that. It makes me use my imagination a little bit more than just a cutscene, or maybe some minor animation of vehicles and people driving around. I do think that's quite unique, and I like seeing that. Okay, we're processing now. We're at 21%, so we can continue to make cash that way. A lot of these contracts are invalid at the moment. Researching, it does look like that's invalid as well. So we can only do this one for the moment, unless we go ahead and start assigning positions here. Background information on water, surveillance freight. Beautiful surface of the planet there. And it looks like some drones that might also be doing some things too. So maybe it's not necessarily humans on board, although with the water synthesizer, that might be a possibility that there are humans, or maybe not. Maybe the water is just used for research, and those are important resources. Very nice. I like what I see so far, and now I think we're going to go on to the next mission to take a look at what that might have in store for us.
Hello, Commander. Recent measurements performed by ground-based observatories revealed that the anomaly emits strong ionizing radiation. However, it is currently unclear to what extent the natural magnetic field of the planet acts and how strong the radiation outside the magnetosphere is, as well as its exact spectrum. We have been asked to analyze the anomaly from orbit to clarify the radiation values.
Interesting. We actually see some storms on the planet's surface now, and I failed to mention earlier that, yeah, it's great. The planet is actually rotating and feels alive as if we're, well, the planet is rotating and so are we as we orbit around it, of course. And it's quite cool to see that. Very nice. Great effects on not only the planet's atmosphere, but also the surface too. But yeah, makes it all that more believable and really cool. Good immersion. All right, well, let's go ahead and start what they'd like us to do for the missions then. They want us to observe an anomaly. So we've jumped forward now to the second mission to just see what this may have in store for us. And this is kind of a little bit later in the series of missions, which I think will establish a story. And our station does look somewhat different. Measurements by ground-based observation revealed that anomaly emits strong ionizing radiation. So in order to develop effective protection, these questions must first be clarified. Wow, the writing is so scientific. Now it's invalid. We're not able to start this without some other pieces of the puzzle. We'll need to construct a few of those, and probably to afford those, we'll need to, of course, complete some objectives. So there's different types of things here on the left side that we haven't yet encountered or built. Some of these probably relating to logistics or other repair services, or in this case, maybe research and development or radiation scanning or whatnot, protections for those types of things. Habitat capsule is not connected, so I suppose we could do that and get that online. There we go. Okay, cool. Habitat is online as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at some contracts that we can do on the side. Proof of life, that's an easy one. Oh, 3,000 for this one, of course, invalid. Looks like we're going to have to start small. Now, I think there's probably a way to filter that. Hopefully, if not, there is a way to do that. That would be very helpful. All right, so we've got a main mission. We've got one active mission. Let's see if we can take another contract. It would be nice to queue these up as well, and they'll have to be done one at a time. So it looks like we could also build a secondary research lab if we wanted to, in addition to the one here. Very cool how the structures look. I really do like that. But again, it is hard to see since we have to choose like a focal point. If you've ever played the games, for example, Car Mechanics Simulator is the closest thing I can equate to that. Is you'll click on a part or a piece of the car, and it'll hover around that central piece. Like for example, like a radiator, and then you can rotate around that, staring directly at it. Let's go ahead and build ourselves another research lab. We do have in the bank 4,000. The research lab will cost us 31. Oh, well, we don't necessarily have enough for that, do we? Oh boy. Well, let's see what happens if we go into bankruptcy. Didn't seem to cost us anything. Huh. Well, anyway, it may eventually cost us to do multiple projects of research, and those resources will go towards that, so we'll see. Maybe we can do research twice as fast. A few more questions and answers here. All right, let's see. Some of these are yellow, giving us a little bit more detail. Love this artwork, showing off all sorts of different research with microbiology and engineering and fueling, different types of craft. Some of these we've seen before, but great, not bad. Open positions. All right, let's build another habitat onto our space station. We probably should get some more people assigned here. We'll do that as well. Now, wait a minute. What about these yellow pieces? I don't think we've seen that at the moment. Main grid TRB. Is that generating power? Looks like it could be a compartment in order to connect additional things, maybe. And hopefully we get to build more things to regulate the station as well. A lot of this seems to be based on management for the actual income of the station, more profitable than actually maintaining the crew, so far anyway. Although it is kind of nice, on the other hand, that we don't have to manage everything like water and food, and that's kind of auto based on us making the decisions for research. It's more like we're a director, and that's an interesting angle. 81%, let's speed that up and wait for that to get done. That'll earn us 680. And that will take a little longer to complete for research. Now, I wonder if it'll tell us... Okay, it does say invalid. I wish it would actually tell us what we needed to do that. That might be additionally more helpful. All right, another contract. We have another one ready. A couple ready. Let's go for the 680. All right, so we're researching more samples. Okay. Now, I want to add some more, see if there's another habitat that we can add to this thing. I don't actually see one on the station at the moment. There it is. So it's on this side. We'll add that opposite of that. There we go. Excellent. Two research labs now. Out 0... Out 10, max 10. So this lab could be assigned to individual research, and it looks like they're actually labeled too. This is Lab Y17Y, and this is Lab E37V. It would be nice to actually rename these two. Hey, there we go, a moon in the background. Wonderful. Very cool to see. Now, speaking of that, I wonder if the skybox will also let us see other things like nebulas or asteroids or meteorites passing by or having dangers to deal with those types of things. Okay, another project complete. Let's continue to do more research contracts. And let's see what else we may need to build for this one to be completed. Observe the anomaly. Let's see if there's anything else we can construct to begin that observation. Alright, so we have labs. We have a briefing room. Let's go ahead and put one of those down, as we don't have one. And let's also go ahead and start with this for the commerce section, just to build a little bit of everything. Alright, so invalid probably as we're researching something else currently, which is now complete. Excellent. Oh, we can actually filter with space. Although I'm not sure exactly what that filter does. A lot more questions than answers for that screen. And it looks like the systems are connected and flowing appropriately. Oh, that thing looks like a giant GPU, doesn't it, up there, the laboratory? Yeah, the laboratory just looks like a giant GPU. In fact, yeah, it's actually got wires and microchips in it. Oh, I love that view. It's actually very interesting. That's really cool. Alright, let's head back here. I'd really like to add more things to this as well. I want to add more doodads and doohickeys on the outside. More radio equipment, those types of things. And I'm sure there must be something for that. Oh, this is to raise and lower the screen. Okay, another research project is ready. And we can only do one at the moment. So, finance overview, procurement, station overview, mission details. This is what we see before we start it. Here are all of our resources such as antimatter, water, energy, atmosphere, plasma, liquid gas, biomatter, storage space, replication, and then we have ourselves payload exchange, computing power, temperature control, and high security storage. So these are things that we may need to build in the future in order to get some of these jobs done. Seeing a lot of that stuff for the first time. So yes, this menu has multiple things between it. Oh, can we actually... Oh, we can change our name. Change the station. Athena Atlas Terminal is the name of this for the time. And yeah, it looks like we are gaining money quite quickly. Ah, we can actually take out loans. Great. So if we need to, we can do it this way. So that must not be a government program if we're taking out loans. This must be a commercial project, but people are working with the government, of course, as they're the ones with the money. So they're probably sending us jobs, but of course we got to get paid, so that's part of the goal there. Let's go ahead and confirm some things here. Go ahead and take a look at some of the other things we can build to extend the station. Now these give us system IDs, but don't really necessarily tell us what these are used for. I'm seeing some of these yellow circles, and not entirely certain what they might actually contribute to the station. We'll go for another longer tube though here. And I want to try to build a smaller section here. Looks almost as if we could use this as a docking station, which is pretty cool. Showing you energy usage or creation from those screens. And it looks like an external fuel storage with pipes for either oxygen or some sort of liquid to pass through, maybe. Perhaps. Alright. So let's see. Let's go back to our... Oh, let's go to our contracts again. Station overview, procurement. There it is. And we're going to continue to take some more jobs. Still invalid on our main job. So that's going to be our goal, is to build up to actually be able to complete that objective. So continuously earn funds to be able to build more things. And obviously, if we encounter issues or whatnot, we can't purchase any of these items without, of course, money. So the purpose of money is then to get all the different things that we needed from the station overview. Yeah, all these resources. So we got to buy those, complete research, and then finish them up. As for storage, I guess we'll have to figure out where exactly a lot of that will go. And that will be interesting. Laboratories, administration, briefing centers. Alright. Now we'll extend on to maybe here in the future and add some more systems. We can now build the ALO, so let's give that a shot. As it doesn't actually seem to cost us as much as it appeared. We have one here as well. ALO is an airlock, I see. Interesting. So that may be where we get deliveries from, through these airlocks. Output and different information on the station. General jobs completed. Interesting. And of course the ability to dismantle things, so that's nice. So if we build something and we don't like it, we go ahead and dismantle, and that's the job done. And it looks like we might receive funds back for that. Tritium battery. Ah, that must be plugged in here onto this section. Interesting. Where's our planet there? Oh, there we are. High above the planet. Time passing by. Mission details. Back to procurement. And let's make sure that job is complete. Which we did. Excellent. Well, it looks like more jobs are becoming available. And they're starting to pay a little bit more. We're starting to get closer to the 1,000, and eventually we'll work our way up to life-saving vaccines with multiple research centers that may be required. Very, very cool. All right, Orbit Industries out on April 21st, 2022. I have much more to learn about this game, and I'll be covering this then in a live stream as well. So if you've played the playtest, and if you'd like to give me and any other people who are getting started some tips on how to enjoy themselves and do more in the initial playtest, and then to get jump started in the full early access or possibly release in April, let me know down below. Write me up a report, and I'd love to see your thoughts, your opinions, and what you'd like to share about this very interesting space station pioneer building game. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for all the love, support, kindness, and positivity, and I hope to see you all very soon again on the channel for much, much more. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all next time. Raptor out.